LG G6 versus OnePlus 5 speed test. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the LG G6 versus the OnePlus 5 speed test. Now currently the LG G6 is my daily driving phone right now. It's very practical, great design, great camera. So let's begin with a boot up test here in 3, 2, 1. And the LG G6 has its power button on the rear, OnePlus 5 on the right side. So you can see right here that, the LG G6 is an 18:9 aspect ratio. This is supposed to be the flagship killer over here in the OnePlus 5 here. Now, both of these phones do come in at a very similar price point. To be honest with you, they're around the $500 to $600 mark. You get more RAM with the OnePlus 5 depending on which version you're going with. So the LG G6, even with its Snapdragon 821 CPU and 4 gigs of RAM, boots up faster than the 6 gig of RAM 835 CPU OnePlus 5. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and confirm their specifications here. So if we go into CPU-Z, you can see Snapdragon 821 clocked in at 2.34 gigahertz for the LG G6. That's a quad-core CPU. Over here on the right, we have an octa-core Snapdragon 835 CPU clocked in at 2.46 gigahertz. So higher number and a faster GPU, but this is not a gaming round. We get a 530 here on the G6 and a 540 there on the OnePlus 5. Now going over here in the device, you can see we have a total RAM of 3782 for the G6, and we have 5719 over there on the OnePlus 5. Now this is a 1080p display. This is pushing 2K on the LG G6, and there's no other way to go ahead and disable that. So it is going to push the full resolution. Let me make sure comfort view is off here. So let me go over, and it is off. So we're going to go ahead and run the speed test now. Let's close everything out here, and let's begin with calendar on both devices. And you can see, look like the LG G6 was first. Both of these devices are running Android Nougat 7.1.1 here on the right, 7.0 here on the left. So what about calculator? And you can see a little bit quicker there for the OnePlus 5, and about the same to go back home because both are utilizing the home buttons that are capacitive. So let's go ahead and go into Twitter, and you can see Twitter is first there on the OnePlus 5. Coming home, let's go into eBay. But I want you guys to see here that, there's a lot of talk about all the LG G6 using a last year's processor, bleep, 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 but yet everybody still praises the Google Pixel, which is also using the same processor as the LG G6. I think there's just unnecessary hate towards LG. So let's go ahead and go to Amazon, and you could see that the OnePlus 5 is ahead here. So definitely quicker on that one. And I'm not trying to say the LG G6 is faster than the OnePlus 5. We're seeing that it's not here in this video. But what I'm trying to say is the performance is pretty solid nonetheless, even with its Snapdragon 821. The 835 is about a 10% CPU increase in performance over the 821. So you've seen that Instagram was first on OnePlus 5 and was the clock coming home. Let's go into Play Newsstand. And you can see Play Newsstand is about the same there, I think slightly to the OnePlus 5 coming home. Let's go into settings. You can see settings about the same. What about camera? So camera first on, that one's hard to see. I think it was the OnePlus 5 though. Let's go ahead and go into Temple Run. And you can see here's where the gaming should shine a little bit better, and it does on the OnePlus 5 with its Adreno 540 versus the Adreno 530 on the G6. So let's go ahead and go into Jetpack Joyride. And you can see Jetpack Joyride well ahead. So the 540 GPU in the OnePlus 5 is a boss, so keep that in mind. It's definitely faster than the G6. Now, somebody left a comment the other day. Let's go into Play Store. You can see the G6 lagged up a little bit. Somebody left a comment that why would I get the OnePlus 5 around the same price point when I get a true flagship in the LG G6? And you can see with the OnePlus 5, you're getting better performance than the LG G6. So that might be one reason right there why you might want to get the OnePlus 5. So you see Dead Trigger first on the Adreno 540, and then we have it there coming now on the LG G6. So let's go ahead and go into YouTube on both devices, and you can see YouTube is first for the OnePlus 5. So the OnePlus 5 pretty handily taking it down in the LG G6. So you can see over here OnePlus 5 again on CPU-Z. Let's run a speed test between both of them now. Let's go ahead and let the LG G6 do its thing. Although the OnePlus 5 is like, I'm ready first. So you can see LG G6. Let's go ahead and begin the test here. Now, if you look for, on the used market for an LG G6, you're gonna find it around, I'm gonna say, 500, maybe under 500 if you look on Swappa. But for the OnePlus 5, it's under 500 as well. So these are pretty ballpark close to the same price range. But I do think you get a better phone in the G6 with its dual camera setup. It's a little bit better. But I'm gonna do a full comparison between these two, depending on how many people requested down below on these two guys to see, which one is the better buy overall. We need to do a full in-depth talk about those things. So beginning test over here on the OnePlus 5, you've seen the LG G6 clocked in an 87.99 on the download, 12.67 on the up. But the OnePlus 5 seems to like it's going to take it on the speed test here, so maybe better Wi-Fi performance as well on the OnePlus 5. I think the stock-ish Android Oxygen OS is a little bit better optimized than LG's user interface here. So looks like we're going to get a faster upload too, so the OnePlus 5 wins altogether in that speed test right there. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, we could run through some RAM management really quickly here to see how they do. So G6 pretty good there. Calculator, OnePlus 5, Twitter, you've seen the G6. So, the G6 is one of those phones in the Android world that actually performs really good in RAM management. Definitely better than the Galaxy series, and you've seen us beating the OnePlus 5 in a few applications here. So LG G6 has excellent RAM management. If you're into that whole thing, having your apps well loaded in the background, the G6 can handle what you throw at it. That's one great thing about the LG G6, and it's actually winning over the OnePlus 5. If you're seeing, all these applications are actually holding faster in the background on the G6. So let's go ahead and go into the game, see if the OnePlus can make up some ground here. So the G6 ready to go and the OnePlus 5 reload. So this is kind of strange. The G6 lost in the single tasks, but it looks like it's winning. See, it's ready to go there on Jetpack Joyride, a reload there for the OnePlus 5. Let's go into Play Store, and that one goes to the OnePlus 5 and Dead Trigger, and you should see about the same there. I think the G6 was actually ready to go first. Let's go into YouTube. You can see G6 again. So G6 solid on the RAM management. Good stuff, LG, when it comes to that department, and definitely giving the win here to the RAM management. So it's 1-1. The G6 wins in RAM management. The OnePlus 5 wins in boot up test as well as singular applications. So on paper, it's not, so important to get caught up on specs. You've seen right here in real world performance, the G6 is a boss as well as the OnePlus 5. So this area of performance is probably not the only reason to pick up one of these phones. But if you were picking up one based solely on speed, I think you're gonna feel like you have a faster phone in the OnePlus 5. That's just my take on it. What do you guys think? Drop your comments down below. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see the full comparison, comment that down below. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next episode, and peace.